And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The movie adaptation of Lin Manuel Miranda's In the Heights, the center of controversy after no Afro-Latinos were cast in the film. Now, conversations around colorism in the Latino community. Some say things have absolutely got to change, and we talk about it. And joining us to talk about this and find out why do we care about this is Noemi Peavy and Travell Robinson. So Noemi, when you take a look at the apology that we have received from the director of In the Heights, is it too little too late? Should he have thought about this before casting?
I do, especially him coming from the culture and understanding that representation matters for us, especially I'm from Dominican descent. And he did not represent that in the Heights. And I actually got to see it in Broadway and got the chance to see it in theaters. And I just felt like he missed a mark.
Travell, your thoughts on this? You're bilingual, speak Spanish. Your thoughts on him missing the boat on this?
I feel the exact same way. I'm a huge fan of Lin Manuel Miranda. But I grew up in a family that has Afro-Latinas, and it's just to not see them represented on screen when this is supposed to be representative of the entire Latinx community. It was, he missed the mark.
Is this indicative of what we see in many movies in America when it comes to representation? And then there is that colorism issue, and we've seen it not only in the Hispanic community, but the Black community and the Asian community as well, Noemi.
It is. It's an underlying thing that's been going on for the history of our culture. It's something that continues to be seen. You still see it in the Spanish channels like Telemundo, Univision as well. And so we don't change the narrative or add to the narrative, then where do we start to change this? And
Travell, I recently found a report online that I posted on my social media, and it was some Afro-Mexicans celebrating a holiday and their heritage there. And I was shocked that a lot of my followers who were Hispanic and from the Houston area didn't even know there was that population in Mexico.
I completely 100% agree. I used to teach Spanish a couple of years ago, and it was to the population of the school where I taught at was predominantly white and Black. And the things that we would talk about Hispanic culture, they were very much so limited to the small percent of Mexican culture that they were aware of. So it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. There has been an interview with a lot of different artists. Christina Milian is one who says that she was only cast as Black females. She is an Afro-Latina, but they only cast her as a Black female in a lot of the roles, in all of her roles that she's ever done, because what they're looking for is a European type Latinx person, and she doesn't fit.
Noemi, how do we get a change? Obviously, I would say through the box office, if we want to see a change from directors and from Hollywood, when it's clear and precise and accurate representation of all these various communities.
It's really what we're doing right now, having the conversation, saying, hey, we exist. We're not just one way, we're many ways. And we're getting to a point that representation of all of us is important.
Absolutely. What would be your advice to get some change in Hollywood, Travell? I'm
going to have to repeat the exact same thing Noemi did. I know that the director of the film, John Chu, actually did have, because they got a lot of criticism for this. So he did have a few interviews, one specifically with an Afro-Cuban lady from the Roots. And that at the end, that's exactly what they said. We need to have this discussion. Having this discussion will lead to change, because if it's never brought up, we don't ever see the problem. We can't ever move forward and actually fix the problem.